Hi, BB&T. My name is Gail Hayes, and I am a customer of yours and have been banking with you for quite a number of years. I'm coming to you today to say that I've been banking with you for a number of years, so I have come to trust you as my one of my major banking facilities, and as a trusted customer. I think I've been banking with you for well over a decade. That brings me to the reason I made this video. In light of what's going on in our nation, things are really stressful for many of us with the pandemic and with the unrest, all of those things. But I have a concern. About 2 months ago, well, it wasn't quite 2 months ago, I had the joyous blessing of having my children in my 40s. And one of my highest hopes is that they would achieve a certain level of success on their own and create and learn to create their own life, if you will, as we all do when we have our children in a very meaningful way. Well, my daughter has followed in my footsteps. My background is fashion, and I once lived in Asia for 4 years, almost 5 years, and in Europe for 12. So I have an international viewpoint, and I also worked on Capitol Hill in politics, and have also been a North Carolina governor appointed commissioner for our state. And I served as the first Black female law enforcement officer and firefighter in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. So I have a very diverse background, which brings me to my point. My daughter decided that she was going to apply for a school outside of the United States of America. That delighted me to no end. She applied for a school called Polymoda, and you can look it up. It's Polimoda, Polymoda. It is one of the top 10 fashion schools in the world. She got accepted to this school. We received her letter of acceptance, her letter of enrollment, and with that, which we had to pay an enrollment fee. It came in to us from Florence, Italy. We were delighted. That is, until we went to BB&T in Advance, North Carolina. I understand about the pandemic. I understand about the limitation of coming into the bank. I understand all of that. So please, I hope you do not respond to me in this video telling me all those things, because I'm living out here in the world in these challenges just as everyone else is. We went to the bank the first day, and I got there and to get the enrollment fee wired to Italy, and I was told that we got there 3 minutes too late. I got that. That was okay. It had to be put in processed by a certain time. That was okay. I made an appointment to go back, and I came back to the bank, went through the window as instructed, gave them the letter of enrollment with the banking credentials on the bottom. And they told me it would be approximately 15 to 20 minutes. I sat out in front of the bank, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25, and I didn't hear anything. And so finally I called, and I was told to please get back in line because the teller, Sarah, and I don't know who the manager is, some little man with glasses on, I think. I was told they were looking over my letter and that I would need to get back in the line. I waited. I was about 3 cars back. Now, mind you, I'd been there for a minute, been there for a while. I waited, got in the line, and then I got in the line in front of the window, the teller, and there were other cars in the other line. You know as well as I do that when you're in that line, people can hear everything that goes on, even the people in the next line when the teller speaks to you through that intercom. I get up to the window, and the little man, whoever he was, looks at us and glances and walks away. Sarah says to us, "We can't transfer your money because this letter is fraudulent. We were looking through it." Now, here's the thing. They said the document was fraudulent because the word enrollment was spelled with one L and the word formalized was spelled with an S instead of a Z. Hello, it's from Italy. So the Italians don't spell things the way that we do in the United States. And furthermore, she told me that in loud, so other people could hear, this document has misspelled words all throughout it. It's fraudulent. So we can't do this. Now, this is the way I look at it. If I want to send my money to hell, and hell has a routing number and a bank account, then I, as a customer, it is my responsibility if I send it to the wrong place, not the responsibility of the bank. Let me repeat it. If I have money in the bank and I want to wire it someplace, and they have a routing number and an account number, if it's in hell, I should be able to send my money there because I have sense enough to have checked out my source. I sat there after waiting, being inconvenienced and waiting to only to be humiliated by this Sarah person or whoever this was at a BB&T bank. Now here's the thing, BB&T. I explained to them that my daughter got accepted to school in Italy. I do not want to play the race card, but it is the only one on the table. Let me tell you why. I pulled away from the bank in tears because I was so humiliated that other people heard this exchange. And for her to tell me that something was fraudulent, and clearly it is not fraudulent because we've been in touch with the school. It is a legitimate school. Vogue Italia, Valentino, Givenchy, they all deal with this school. They had a layout in Vogue of September of 2019, a two-page spread, or maybe a four-page spread on this school in Vogue, America. So I'm sitting there humiliated. And it's taking me this long to get myself together to talk to you. So I decided to pull my money out of BB&T, and then I said, no, I don't want to do that. But what I did pull some money out, and I went to another bank, but I knew that they couldn't do it because they were a credit union. They only do national. They don't do international wires. So since I felt forced to come back to BB&T, I said, well, let me do this because I'm an internationally minded woman. I once served also as the main trainer for the United States government in Europe, training a multinational workforce in leadership and conflict resolution. So I do understand some things, okay? So what I did was this, and I should not have had to do this, BB&T, so this is why I'm sending you this video. I picked up my phone and called the branch in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and this is what I said. She said, hello. I said, hello, BB&T. I'd like to know if I can make a wire transfer to Europe tomorrow or someday. Can you please help me? I had to act like I was a white woman to be treated nicely. Oh, yes, ma'am. We can help you right away. We can give you an appointment. I won't be here, but somebody will be here to help you. I said, thank you so much. And she said, have you checked out whether or not this is legit? I said, I've checked out all of those places. I just need you to wire my money for me. No problem, ma'am. BB&T, really? Fortunately, I'm very good at imitating other people because I was what? Raised in the international community. I understand different modes of communication. I am a communications expert. I am also, by the way, a racial bias consultant. I do racial bias training. So, like I said, I hate to play the race card. However, it's the only one on the table. I should not have had to go through that. We went to our appointment and we got there. They were expecting us. Fortunately, there was a diversity of tellers at the Winston-Salem branch, but I shouldn't have had to go through that. There's only one or two things you could say. The advanced staff is just very, 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 very ignorant, or we got the other one, which we don't like to talk about with the big R, the race card. And quite frankly, I felt very damaged. It took me a while to get over this. We had to call Italy and get in a meeting with them to tell them that the banks was not cooperating with us, which made you look bad, okay? You look bad, BB&T. Now, I'm not putting this video out on social media yet. If you respond to me, then I won't do that. But if you don't, I will put it out there for people to see. And I have I'm a social media influencer. I have a little bit of a reach out there. Lots of people know me. I don't want to do that. I would like to hear from your office because, quite frankly, I was humiliated. Quite frankly, I was put off that someone who probably has never been outside the United States is going to tell me this document is fraudulent, has misspelled words throughout the document because the word enrollment had one L and the word formalized had an S instead of a Z, because that's the way the Italians spell it. It took me a while to recover. This happened in May. We finally got, let me see, I got my documents here. We finally got we got the payment to go through at the Winston-Salem branch the end of May. The school received it on the 27th of May. But it's taken me this long to get to a point where I could talk to you without weeping about what happened and the humiliation that we suffered because of this branch in advance and the way that we were treated. I don't even want to do business there. And I almost didn't want to do business with BB&T. But my daughter thought it best, and I did too. She said, you need to do a video as opposed to writing you a letter, because there's no way that I could say all of this to you and express my feelings of disheartenment with you and how disappointed I am and how humiliated I was. I don't even know if an apology is good enough at this point, but it's probably all you got for me. I don't like it. My feelings were very hurt. I was humiliated, and I don't like to play the race card since I am an internationally minded woman. Been raised and looked and lived in the international arena. I know how things can be, but I also have lived in this melanated skin for all of my life. And so I understand what happens. And for my African American daughter, or no, my black daughter, to be accepted to a school in Italy is probably a little difficult for some people to accept. But her mother, after all, is an international woman. So BB&T, I'm not exactly sure what you're going to do about that to restore me to wholeness as a client, as a customer. But I'm giving you this in this manner so you will understand how gravely disappointed I am in you and the people that work at that particular branch. And I'm hoping very soon in the future I can just move away from here so do not ever have to go there. It's just convenient for me to go there. Again, this is a branch bank in Advance, North Carolina, and I know the teller's name was Sarah. I can't remember, and you have a little manager in there. He was not nice. They just decided that my paperwork was fraudulent. Those are the words. I'm looking like a fool sitting at the bank window to be humiliated by such ignorance. And racism is ignorance. It's unacceptable to me. But I wanted to tell you before I told the public, and you see what I had to go through in order to get an appointment, because I had to act like I was someone else on the telephone, and I can do this quite well in order to get to handle my business with you. So now, BB&T, the ball is in your court. This is Dr. Gail Hayes signing off from Advance, North Carolina.